Coming up on today's edition of Channel 97 News.
We explore what the track team is doing.
See which local restaurant is our favorite.
Get an update on the water polo team.
And it all starts now.
Welcome to the March edition of Channel 97 News for the 24-25 school year. I'm Nathan Baker.
And I'm Selma Murchahajic, and here are the announcements for the month. We want to celebrate our Misha State qualifiers for speech and debate. The following students qualified for state as they made it to the final round at the district competition. Maya Anderson, 4th in storytelling and district champion in humorous interpretation. Sarah Brand, 4th in poetry. Landon Kernich, 5th in U.S. extemporaneous speaking. Damian Hammer, 8th in dramatic interpretation. Chris Johnson, 6th in poetry and 5th in dramatic interpretation. Ramsey Marcus and Landon Kernich, 6th in duo interpretation. And Achilles Nichols, 8th in poetry.
International Festival will be held at Melville High School on April 18th. Everyone is welcome to attend. We are currently looking for people who would like to share their culture through performances and/or hosting booths. The deadline to sign up to participate is April 1st. If you have any questions, see Madame Wilson in room 122.
NAHS will be hosting an art showcase April 4th in Nottleman Auditorium at Melville High School from 6 to 8 p.m. Come check it out.
Oakville High School will be hosting a district-wide art show April 26th from 10 to 4 p.m. This event is open to the community and will showcase art from every school in the district.
Congrats to the winners of the Misused Words competition, Drew Levac and Mehdin Softich.
March is Women's History Month. To celebrate, the Black Student Union wants to share that there are so many women from different ethnicities and races who have paved the way and continue to break gender boundaries, doing the impossible. In our first story, we take a look at various places where students volunteer.
Brennan and Abby have the story.
Students and teachers spend most of their time focusing on their work for school, but there are a select few that use their time to give back to their community through volunteer work.
I've volunteered in the past for a lot of things with my son's sporting events and a few events at our church. My son's getting ready to get confirmed, so he's selling 50-50 tickets and making baked items for his confirmation service hours.
I like to volunteer at the fish fry over by the church on Telegraph. It's just nice to get out and go help the community. So at the fish fry, there's a couple different roles you have. You take trays sometimes, you serve food. It's a lot of pretty like being a busboy or a waiter or something. It's reminiscent of that. It's a pretty nice gig.
To volunteer, I help out with retreats. Well, actually only retreats. The Luke 18 retreat, which is preparing 8th graders for their confirmation. I do it because on my Luke 18 retreat, I had a really good experience and it kind of changed my perspective on the whole thing, so I feel like I should be able to do the same thing for them.
Obviously being involved in the social aspect of it with helping schools and helping the kids and getting new stuff. But I also, with this baseball team, I like the money that it saves me, so by putting in extra volunteer work, we actually pay our bill for the major expenses with baseball, so that's fun. But it's really satisfying, the social aspect, to be around everybody else who's having fun and raising money for a good cause.
I like to volunteer for a couple reasons. The main reason that I like to volunteer is just to break into the community. I want to give back. I haven't been here very long, but this community has been very nice and just very kind to me. And I want to do something to give back.
With Brendan Strickland behind the camera, I'm Abby Hasty with Channel 97 News.
It's really great to see students help the local community.
Speaking of locals, a Wingstop has recently opened on Telegraph.
Phoebe and Blake, check it out.
A new Wingstop opened March 10th on Telegraph. Let's see how their opening week went.
So, if you like hot wings, any type of wings, most definitely come to Wingstop. Why not? I mean, it's hot wings, you got any type of wings, and we have chicken sandwiches. So, if you're a really hot wing person and want flats, come to Wingstop. We got you.
I like Wingstop because it has good food, it's a great environment. They just have really good food. Like, their fries are awesome. They got a lot of flavors for wings, so you can get a bunch of different stuff.
You guys in Oakville have been waiting for a Wingstop for years. You guys have been wanting to Arnold, so 3 minutes, 5 minutes away is better than 20.
This location has been on the market for a minute, but again, Arnold is kind of far. And when the kids get out of school, they love coming in this plaza. So now, instead of just going to Dibber's, they can come to Wingstop.
Yes, it's only 8 minutes away from my house. I already did the math, so I'm very excited.
Our students at Oakville seem to like Wingstop, but what does the staff like about working there?
I like working here because I feel like we can develop in more positions. It's from a crew member to a shift leader to AGM and
GM district. And then like Wingstop, so fast food now is more like technology based. So like you have to use a kiosk to order. Wingstop is one of the only restaurants that's still like customer service based. Mm-hmm. So it's still the human interaction. So it doesn't just feel like you're working with a computer on it.
You walk in to Wingstop, it's very polite here. So that's why I think we stand out.
With Phoebe Reel behind the camera, I'm Blake Bronick for Channel 97 News.
That sounds really good. Hey Nathan, what is your favorite restaurant?
I'm not sure. Maybe Cece and Claire can figure it out.
In the Oakville community, there are lots of different restaurants that we all enjoy. We made a March Madness style bracket and gave it to Oakville High School to see who the teachers and students like best. Here's some of them now.
Never been to Garvey's. Frankie G's, they got good burgers, I go to Nubby's a lot more with my friends, than Frankie G's. And I think their food's better, I feel like Mexican food is way better than barbecue,
Los Fientes is the most overrated restaurant in Oakville, I think. It's just not that good. There's way better options. Honestly, I've never really been to a sports pub, but Nubby says barbecue. You can't go wrong with that.
Los Fuentes, love a fajita, and big Mexican guy.
While most students agree on having an obvious favorite restaurant, one teacher believes two of the restaurants are almost equal.
My number one is probably Nubby's. It offers a lot of diversity. It's really good. They're always changing up the menu, but Sports Pub is right there with them because they're always doing the same thing, and that's why I don't think that they should have been in the same category. Both restaurants are really, really good. The day that I'm going out to eat, it just depends on what I'm in the mood for. And that's how I'm going to decide which one of those two I go to, because it really is a coin flip most of the days.
Make sure to scan the QR code to finish filling out the bracket. With CC Phoenix behind the camera, I'm Claire Goodman with Channel 97 News.
Local restaurants really make up the backbone of the community.
Back at school, the OHS community has helped Muslim students in regards to observing Ramadan.
Dino, Roman, and Adam tell us more.
As many students know, there has been a prayer room open in the cafeteria for Ramadan. But what is Ramadan? Mr. Brennan and a few students help us learn more.
Ramadan, it's like a month of Quran, what us Muslims say, but it's also a month of fasting, which is an act of worship.
We've been getting more and more. Our Muslim population has been growing the last few years. Last fall, Dr. Gaglio and I had a meeting over at central office with the principal from Berkeley, Melville High School, someone from central office, and one of the assistant imams from the area. He came over and answered questions for us and gave us some guidance and some direction. And then last week, as we were going through trying to get everything organized, Dr. Gaglio reached out to him again, and he came actually here and visited. We showed him the space that we were thinking of making available for prayer, and he said that was good. Gave us a little bit of direction, gave him a little bit of direction on the form that he sent out and some things that were in it. So that's who we're reaching out. We're learning as we go, so we want to know as much as we can. So we figure we go to somebody who can give us some true guidance on that.
My favorite part about Ramadan is just like going to the mosque, hanging out with friends, and of course breaking my fast.
We've afforded them between 1 o'clock and 1:40. That way they go into class, start class off so they'll get some instruction, and then they'll be able to leave, go wash, do the things they need to, and then there's plenty of time for them to get down to pray in the cafeteria, and then they need to be back to class, head back to class by 1:40, which means they'll be there for the end of the block, so they'll miss half an hour, 40 minutes of class time.
I think it's really nice of them, and it provides an opportunity for us Muslims to pray and to be on time for prayer.
With Adam Winter and Roman Baban behind the camera, I'm Dino Soljanovich with Channel 97 News.
It's great to see how the school adapts to inclusivity.
Another group of students have had to adapt to new changes for their season.
Adam and Dom show us how the water polo team has worked around the pool being remodeled.
The water polo team has experienced issues with their pool this year. Let's see how they're dealing with it.
So our pool had a leak, and we were losing like 4,000 gallons of water every night.
They found a major leak in the pool, so they think that they've fixed it now, but I kind of highly doubt it.
How has it affected the season?
For water polo, because we thought we were gonna have the pool, but because it got delayed, we had to make we kind of had to run around and search for a new pool.
This season, within the first week, our practice time was cut in half, and we had to scramble to find pools that would take us and people who would be nice enough to be like, hey, you can use our pool, even though we do have water polo teams. So, it's been really hard, but it's nice to see everyone kind of overcoming the adversity.
Without a home pool, we really can't practice like how we usually do at Melville, because while it is a pool and just like every other pool, we have our own things there, and we can't really use any of our stuff there, so we've been forced to use things from other pools and stay disciplined and just do workouts.
Yeah, so we were supposed to have morning practices every day, and then we were supposed to have practices after school every day. So our morning practices were cut out and for our conditioning, and our practices that are at Lindbergh or Afton, we honestly spend more time on a bus than we do in the pool. It's kind of crazy.
So some of our adjustments is that most of our practices now, when we don't have a pool, we usually just go to a gym. That could be either early in the morning or later at night.
Although they have faced adversity throughout the season, they still have high hopes.
I mean, for our team, I would really hope we could get Final Four, and I really think that that's achievable right now. I really want to go to state with all of them for my last year as a senior, and I think if we really tried hard, we could.
I'm Adam Wiederman with Dominic McAtee for Channel 97 News.
Good luck to the team on this season.
Another team who has recently competed was the Robotics team.
Gavin, Haley, and Natalie, tell us more.
The Robotics Club had a tournament recently. We talked to some of the members before it happened.
So the Robotics tournament is a bunch of different robots that compete on a field over at Shea Fitz Arena. Every year is different. So on January 6th every year, we're given a prompt or a game element.
The game that we have to play, it's called Reefscape. So the goal is to put little pieces of it's basically PVC pipe on the reef. The higher up you get it on the reef, the more points you get.
If you win, or you're on the winning alliance, you get a ticket to Houston, which is where the Nationals is, or it's called Worlds, because teams come from other countries as well. Of course, you're crowned the winner of the St. Louis Regional. Well, it's my final year, so really, what I want to see, I want to see the team be successful, and I want to see what other teams have done as well, because that's the coolest thing every year, is not only what we have done, but what other people have come up with as well.
Best part of Robotics Club is getting to build something and watch it compete. I'm really looking forward to meeting all the teams and getting to compete.
With Gavin Houston and Haley Holt behind the camera, I'm Natalie Gerard for Channel 97 News.
While the robotics team has just wrapped up their season, there is another team who is just getting started.
That's right. Maddie and Allison have the story on the track and field team's events.
With track and field meets soon approaching, let's hear from OHS athletes about the different events involved.
We have everything from throwing to running to jumping, pole vaulting. There's a lot of different events that you can do. For the 400, you just have to fully sprint for a full lap, and it just hurts, and you have to constantly keep going. And with the 800, it's 2 laps, and it's 90%, and you're always dying.
So for both discus and pole vault, I am we do drills to kind of help with form for both events, and same with running. And we just do the drills, and then eventually we'll actually start doing full reps, so that we actually get practice in and get some distance in.
Shot put is a lot of leg strength, and we have the heaviest object, and you're like pushing it off instead of like actually throwing it. I do weight training. I work on my form, which is just like me spinning with my hand up here, and I guess I just stretch a little.
Training for meets can bring hardships, but each event has its own unique challenges.
The consistency, because if I'm just weak one day, it kind of messes me up for discus and pole vault. And then if I have more energy, it's kind of hard to like sustain that throughout the week.
I feel like the most challenging part is being mentally prepared and training for it. It takes a lot to like run, it hurts, and you just kind of got to push through a mental barrier a lot of time.
For the track and field athletes, their overall experience varies based on their different events.
For my event, we'll usually line up for the 400. We'll usually get blocks, and we'll have block starts, and there'll just be 8 lanes, 8 people, and they'll all race. There's different heats. And then for the 800, there will be just one big heat of guys, and there will be 2 different things, and you have like waterfall, and there's different starts.
It gets pretty chaotic, so you have warm-up shots, and then they'll call you up by name, and JV goes first, and then varsity.
It's kind of lax, because I kind of am just chilling, just doing like whatever, because my events don't really start till like the exact same time. So I'm normally starting my events like 3 hours later than everyone else, and I'm normally sprinting back and forth to go to each event to make sure I don't miss them.
With Maddie Palazak behind the camera, this is Allison Schmidt for Channel 97 News.
This spring season is going to be entertaining for sure.
That concludes the show, but check out Tiger Journalism on social media platforms for exclusive stories and updates. I'm Nathan Baker.
And I'm Selma Marichahaj. And remember, Oakville, keep your eyes on the tiger.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's do it again. We want to celebrate.
Ew.